I just miss the Obamas so much. I just miss them. And I miss feeling hope. I miss feeling hopeful. I miss the Obamas.
No, Obama was not a perfect president. But you know what he never, ever did? He never goddamn embarrassed me. Cool, calm, collected, poised, educated, intelligent. Like, oh, I miss my man. I miss him.
I miss Obama so much. We had it so good. Was Obama the perfect president? No, not by any means. Each president has had their fault. But Jesus Christ, it was a beautiful time. I was still able to go back and forth from Mexico. Getting a passport was $25. Gas was like $2.50, maybe $3 sometimes. I'll admit, gas was expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but Lord, everything else wasn't. At that time, ramen was less than 25 cents. I know I said I wanted to grow up, but I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And I know it's too damn bad, but I'm tired.
I did not appreciate the Barack Obama presidency enough between the ages of 7 and 15 because, God, I miss Obama. I just miss, like, having a normal dude in the White House. Like, even if you disagreed with his politics, you could understand that he was an upstanding person and a good guy. At the same time, he had this impenetrable, unrelenting aura around him. Yeah, he was the commander-in-chief sometimes, but other times he was just Barack. Rewatching a lot of old clips, I miss when presidents were just normal people.
Obama did it better. Obama did it better. The new talking point from MAGA is, well, Obama dropped bombs too. Yeah, he did. And he did it better. Obama was able to use surgical strikes and limited military operations to take out targets and not start a fucking war. How about that shit? He did it better. In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a healthcare bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better. So trying to say that Obama did it too on any subject just shows the failure of Trump and the failure of his people to recognize that everything that Trump said Obama did it fucking better. They just don't like that a black man did it better than a white man. And one last point, let's not forget that Obama was able to get Iran to enter into a non-proliferation treaty for nukes. Trump couldn't do it, so Obama did it better.
I'm liking Obama now. I miss Obama. I miss the adults in the room.
The situation with Trump, from covering up the Epstein files to the state of the economy to the corruption that's happening in Washington today with Trump making billions of dollars to this illegal war with Iran, has so thoroughly ruined his reputation with everybody that racist white supremacist pricks like Nick Fuentes are saying that they miss Obama. Obama is a black man. I'm guessing in the middle of Obama's term when Nick Fuentes was probably in middle school, given the fact that he's so goddamn young, or at least he looks like a little weasel, he would not have been saying how much he loved Barack Obama. But there is a difference here in their zeal and their resentment of the idea that a qualified black man could ascend to the presidency to come from nothing and build his life and make it to where he was today, where he could turn this country around after what happened with George W. Bush. They resented him so much they turned to a man that they didn't understand. And people like me and people like you, if you're watching this, would be my guess. We warned them who they were turning themselves into, that they were turning to a man who was going to take advantage of them, who was going to say whatever they want to hear, who was going to throw whatever racist dog whistles they wanted, just so that he could get access to the White House, so he could put money in his pocket, so he could defend his friends in the Epstein files. That's what this has all been about. And these people have been conned. But it's so bad that even Fuentes can't stand it right now. And that's significant.
I think there's a problem with misinformation out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people believe in things that are just not true.
Absolutely. 100%.
And where do you think Obama was born?
Can you?
Barack Obama had big part of 9/11.
Which part?
Not being around, always on vacation, never in the office.
I never got the impression that Obama loved America. He was from this place and that place, and, you know, do we really know where he was from?
Well, he was born in Hawaii, in the United States.
Right, he was born in Hawaii, but Trump, he was an open book. I know I sound stupid to the Democrats right now, but no.
Here in America, we only have Americans. We don't need to be a country dominated by foreign illegal immigrants.
Where are you from, man?
Brazil.
He acts like a Muslim. He talks like a Muslim. He also does the Muslim principles as far as jewelry is concerned.
Jewelry?
Yeah, jewelry. Certain months of the year, not wearing his wedding ring.
That's a deep cut. You want me to connect your necklace to your Christianity?
Why would you do that?
Well, you just taught me it. I didn't even know people were connecting jewelry to religion.
Muslims don't wear...
Is that a Jew watch?
I made a list of things that Republicans were mad at Obama for. Do you want to hear it? Of course you do. Starting off strong, wearing a tan suit. Ordering a burger with Dijon mustard on it. Not always wearing an American flag pin. Putting his feet on the Oval Office desk. Bowing to foreign leaders. Going golfing. Going on Jimmy Kimmel. Using social media. And smoking cigarettes. Let's see if we can think of anything that MAGA's not mad at Trump about. Raping a woman, calling a reporter piggy, threatening genocide against an entire civilization, dodging the draft 6 times, saying you're gonna grab women by the pussy, violating the Constitution, I don't even know how many times, saying he wants to be a king, calling other countries shithole countries, golfing, trying to tariff innocent penguins, being racist, posting ASMR videos of people being deported, being in the Epstein files.
And Barack Obama and Mamdani are so good with the kids, and the kids are so adorable. And the best thing about kids is that they don't care about famous people, and they say whatever they want, and it's perfect. And because Barack Obama and Mamdani aren't malignant narcissists like our president, they laughed and thought the kids were adorable and hilarious. And I was just thinking, like, I saw a clip of Trump on Easter talking to kids, which I think he shouldn't be around any children ever, by the way. And the clip I saw was of him asking them some form of, this is paraphrasing, but do you guys know anyone who voted for Kamala Harris? Because that was a really bad idea, to like 5-year-olds. Because of course that's what he did. And he had the Easter bunny standing behind him. Anyway, this video made me cry because I have forgotten what it is like to have leadership that behaves like Barack and Mamdani did in this video with children. This was a child care center in the Bronx. It was so precious and so funny and so sweet. And it was how leaders should behave in situations like that. And I missed that. There's like a huge hole. Anyway, if you see the videos, you need to watch them because they will make you feel good. I mean, also sad because we don't have that right now in the president, and his entire cabinet. But anyway, they are heartwarming and wonderful.
Do you want to know what I miss equally as much as the Barack Obama presidency? Michelle Obama in the White House. God, dude, I miss Michelle. The first ladies, as far as I know, are not obligated to actually do anything, but every first lady before Melania was doing shit. But Michelle, she was doing the most. She was catching heat from some of the most far-right politicians out there because she said kids should eat healthier meals. Now we haven't had a baddie in the White House since 2016, and it absolutely shows. What the hell has Melania Trump actually done? For real, though. Every time she's on camera and she speaks, it looks like it's painful for her to do so. But Michelle here was out on iCarly and doing promos for the Penguins of Madagascar like a regular person. Meanwhile, Melania can't even say the word pickles. It's weird. Even if they weren't in politics, Barack and Michelle would be such a power couple, man. They both have this no-nonsense swagger and aura about them, but at the same time, they're just so fun. I miss having them around. Come home, Obama. The babysitter is weird.
I think I finally understand why Donald Trump hates Barack Obama and Michelle Obama so much, and it really has nothing to do with that White House Correspondents' Dinner years ago. It's that America still loves, the world still loves Barack and Michelle Obama. See, last night was an NBA All-Star game, and, well, the Obamas were there, the camera panned to them, and the crowd cheered. Everybody stood up. They got a standing ovation to the point that President Obama stood up and waved at the crowd, which led to more cheering. Meanwhile, Donnie Boy Trump shows up at sporting events and half to three-quarters of the crowd boos, to the point that the same media networks have to put clapping and cheering tracks over it to keep his supporters from attempting to boycott them. So, Donald Trump really hates the Obamas because the world still loves them, as the world has always despised him.
I genuinely miss Obama being president. I miss Obama being president. He was the first president that I ever voted for. I am going to be 33 years old this year, so I think I was 18 or 19 for his second term. Anyways, I digress. I just wanted to give you guys a list of things. Okay. I know you guys like to think Trump is just like the greatest thing to happen to the United States since sliced bread, but you can never sit and explain, fact by fact about what makes him great. So I did a little list of things that collectively affect United States citizens good, well, whatever you want to call it. Number one, in 2009, Barack Obama did the American Recover Act. This was what he did to pull the United States out of an 8-year-long recession caused by George W. Bush. Okay, moving on. He also signed the Paris Climate Agreement, meaning he was the first president to do something actively to address and combat climate change. I know you guys don't believe in science, but we're going to clap anyway because it's real. He is widely accredited for ending the war in Iraq, the war that we shouldn't have been in the first place, but George Bush is a warmonger. Also, Barack Obama signed the Affordable Health Care Act. This gave insurance access to millions of Americans, and it also meant that children under the age of, whenever they turned 18, they weren't automatically kicked off their parents' insurance. They were able to stay on until they were 26. Which makes a huge difference for college-age children, right? Student loan reform. Barack Obama increased the amount of Pell Grant that a lot of people literally need and have to go to college. He also signed in where whenever you have a Pell Grant, when you graduate and it's time for you to start paying back any sort of loan or grant that you have, you don't pay back a Pell Grant, but you can take out an unsubsidized or a subsidized student loan through the government, through the federal government, and he made it to where you can base your payments off of your income. And last but not least, he is widely accredited for the killing of Osama bin Laden, the man that orchestrated 9/11, or that is said to have orchestrated 9/11. I'm not here to talk about conspiracy theories. I'm just here to state facts. So let's all just clap for the good old days and miss Barack Obama. I also want to add, although this was not something that he was able to achieve because Congress would not push it through, Barack Obama tried to raise minimum wage while he was in office. The last time it was successfully raised was in 2009 when it was raised to $7.25 or whatever it currently still is today. Barack Obama really pushed to try to raise minimum wage because a lot of our mama and daddies worked for 5, 10, 12 years with no fucking raise. Before you come for me, federal minimum wage sets the precedence for all other wages, okay? So yes, raising is important.
So yesterday was Barack Obama's birthday. And the only reason I know this, because I really wouldn't know that, is because all the MAGAs were posting about it. I don't get it. Why are they fixated?
So, how come you're mad at Trump but not at Obama for the deportation numbers cracks me up because that just means that Obama's better.
Obama did it better, faster, more efficient, with less American lives lost and less protests, although there were nationwide ones, if you remember, like I do, because I was alive during then. We called him the deporter-in-chief. We, as in Democrats, the ACLU and the activist groups, because we didn't like the policies either. And do you know what the Republicans did? They called us morons and said that we ate our own and we didn't just get in line, and there was no united front to us Democrats, and so haha, weren't we hilarious? We weren't to be taken seriously. Mr. Marco Rubio and Miss Lindsey Graham were up there all the time talking about executive overreach. Look at him now, shining bright as a penny on that Air Force One, with zero values and scruples left. But I digress. What you're telling me is Obama's better. What you're telling me is that none of this shit in Minneapolis is necessary, because Obama did it better, faster, stronger. Trump sucks at his job, and this is just another indication of that.
Every one of these candidates say, Obama's weak. Putin's kicking sand in his face. When I talk to Putin, he's going to straighten out. Just looking at him, he's going to be. And then it turns out they can't handle a bunch of CNBC moderators.
Y'all want to know why they hate Obama so much? Watch this.
You have a power to stop deportation for all.
Actually, I don't. And that's why we're here.
I need your help.
Okay. Thank you. All right. What I'd like to do... No, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, let me finish. Let me... How about... These guys don't need to go. Let me finish. I respect the passion of these young people because they feel deeply about the concerns for their families. Now, what you need to know when I'm speaking as President of the United States and I come to this community is that if, in fact, I could solve all these problems without passing laws in Congress, then I would do so. But we're also a nation of laws. That's part of our tradition. And so the easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws. And what I'm proposing is the harder path, which is to use our democratic processes to achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. But it won't be as easy as just shouting. It requires us lobbying and getting it done. So for those of you who are committed to getting this done, I am going to march with you and fight with you every step of the way to make sure that we are welcoming every striving, hard-working immigrant who sees America the same way we do. As a country where no matter who you are or what you look like or where you come from, you can make it if you try. And if you're serious about making that happen, then I'm ready to work with you. But it is going to require work. It is not simply a matter of us just saying we're going to violate the law. That's not our tradition. But the great thing about this country is we have this wonderful process of democracy, and sometimes it is messy and sometimes it is hard. But ultimately, justice and truth win out. That's always been the case in this country. That's going to continue to be the case today.
They know they could never. They know they could never. And that's why they hate him. That's why he is so far under their skin. And it's I hate to say unfortunate, but it's kind of unfortunate that he did follow the law and follow the process, because the other people hated him for doing that. If he would have broke the law and not followed the rules or whatever the case may be, this would have been a completely different conversation. But Republicans hate him because they cannot be him.
Has anyone else checked out the Democratic Party's TikTok? Because it is truly appalling. In today's episode of I Can't Believe Someone's Actually Getting Paid to Do This, the Democratic Party's TikTok. So in case you've been living under a rock, there's a secret police force going around killing people and entering homes without a warrant. So you may be expecting that the major political opposition party would be posting ways to organize and fight back against this truly horrific things that are going on in this country by the major party. Nope, they're posting Obama edits. I wish I was joking. This isn't an isolated incident. Most of their posts are edits to songs, people protesting, but we're gonna put Hadestown over it. Yeah, that'll really show them. There are literally posts with brat lyrics. I don't understand what the point of the strategy is. They're not providing information to organizing. They're not even providing news. They're trying to memify as if there's some NHL team and get people, I don't know, to think they're cool and bro-y. The closest thing they have to news is the photo of the nurse who was killed with the caption, "Enough is enough." Is enough enough? I'll tell you what isn't enough, whatever the hell their current social media plan is, because it's clearly to track views and get engagement and not, engage in being the major opposition party in a very scary time for politics right now. Maybe if we tell them what they're doing is fucked up, they'll change, but it's also the Democratic Party, so I think they're going to keep wearing pink to Congress and acting like that's a real opposition move.
They hate Michelle Obama. I mean, they fucking hate her. She's been subjected to disgusting racist attacks since 2008. And for the last, I don't know, decade, they've referred to her as Mike Obama, said that she was born male, said that their two kids are not their two kids, they're somebody else's kids. These people hate her. They've subjected her to a decade or more's worth of absolutely disgusting, vile attacks. But now they're upset that she's not going to Trump's inauguration on Monday. We're living in extremely dangerous times. We are also living in extremely unserious times. These people are not serious people in any way, shape, or form. They are boobs. They are buffoons. They are morons. They are racists. And they're transphobic. They're bigots and they're misogynists. And they expect, because Donald Trump won and Republicans now control Congress, they expect all of us.
I've been noticing for years that the Trump cult is absolutely obsessed with Barack Obama. So I decided to do some research to try and find out why the MAGA cult is so obsessed with Obama. Barack Obama has not been president for 10 years, and MAGA can't stop talking about him. They're literally obsessed with the man. They try and blame him for things that are happening today. That's not random. There's a psychological reason for that, although it seems a little creepy. Here are the 4 reasons the Trump cult is obsessed with President Obama. 1. The psychological wage of whiteness. In 1935, sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois at Atlanta University studied poor white Americans. White Americans, even the poor ones with no money and no power, felt superior to black Americans. Not because they earned it, but because for 250 years the entire system told them they were superior to black people. The law said it, the church said it, the culture said it. Du Bois called it the psychological wage of whiteness. This is a status payment people collect just for being white, a floor that white people couldn't fall beneath. Then Barack Obama became president. He occupied the highest status role in the country. That destroyed the floor. And when a status floor breaks, people don't quietly adjust. They backlash. Obama didn't just win an election. He took something they didn't even know they were depending on. They didn't earn this special status, but they thought it was stolen when Barack Obama got elected. And they've been trying to take it back ever since. 2. Social identity threat. Psychologist Henry Teifel at the University of Bristol spent decades studying in-group conflict. What he found was when a member of an out-group outperforms the in-group, the psychological response is not one of admiration, but hostility. Teifel called this social identity threat. A failed black president would have confirmed the Trump cult's worldview. But Obama being polished, competent, scandal-free, and widely respected by world leaders made it impossible to call him incompetent. The better Obama performed, the more threatening he became to the cult. Not because of his policies, but because his success directly contradicted everything they believe about the natural order of things. He wasn't supposed to be better. He wasn't supposed to be a gentleman and a scholar, and yet he was. That doesn't just go away. When weak, mediocre people see someone they believe was inferior reach the highest office in the country, they don't get inspired. They become filled with rage. They feel lied to, and they need someone to blame for the hate and rage. That target is Obama. Everything they could never be. 3, scapegoating. Obama left office in 2017, but his name never left the conversation because Trump spent more than a decade smearing his name. It all started before Trump was even president. Trump spent years pushing the birther conspiracy, claiming Obama wasn't American, wasn't legitimate, wasn't one of us. That wasn't politics. That was a deliberate effort to strip Obama of his humanity and plant him in the minds of millions as the source of everything wrong. Then when Trump took office, the playbook continued. Every problem needed an explanation. Economy struggling? Obama's fault. Crime rate rising? Obama's fault. Anything going wrong in the country? Obama's fault. Psychologists call this scapegoating. Assign one figure as the source of all your problems and anxiety, which then collapses onto that single target. It feels like clarity to his followers. It feels like understanding. It isn't. Trump didn't just keep Obama's name alive. He spent over a decade turning him into the villain of the story. And to the Trump cult members, this story still is true. 4. Cognitive dissonance. Here's what made the obsession permanent. The MAGA cult couldn't call Obama corrupt. There were no scandals. They couldn't call him incompetent. The record didn't support it. They couldn't even call him unpresidential. He was polished, disciplined, and respected around the world. Psychologist Leon Festinger at Stanford University studied what happens when people are confronted with evidence that contradicts their deeply held beliefs. Weak people don't update their beliefs when confronted with contradicting evidence. They double down on their original beliefs. Festinger called this cognitive dissonance. MAGA was left holding a belief system that Obama's entire existence disproved. And instead of resolving that contradiction by updating their worldview, they resolved it by hating him harder. The obsession isn't just political, it's psychological, and it has nowhere left to go. So it goes out onto everyone else in rage and obsession. Obama is living proof that the psychological wage of whiteness doesn't exist anymore. And to weak people who never earned that status in the first place, it feels like an identity crisis. So they obsess more, say his name more, talk about him obsessively all the time. They even have a name for this now, Obama derangement syndrome, because Obama didn't just win the presidency. He broke a hierarchy millions of people thought was permanent, and they've been trying to undo that moment ever since.